Aaron Chandler here for Forever Football DRFC, your dog's Rovers fan channel. Welcome to today's DRFC Daily Reports, and we've got some big stuff to go through today. Massive breaking news in the last half an hour, which we will go through in a little bit. Well, we're going to start with that. We've also got some news on the managerial situation, who's signing, who's not. It's all going down. We also have some stuff on contracts to sort out. So if you want to stay tuned with all of these news stories, please like, comment, subscribe, cut the notification bell so you never miss another video, and let's get into what's been happening. So, we start off, of course, with the big story in the last half an hour, and that is the contract situation. Now, we do have some reports on other contracts, and we have an update in the last half an hour that Jon Taylor, of course, out for the rest of the season with injury. He's committed his long-term future with the club. He has officially signed a new 3-year deal. He's put pen to paper on a brand new 3-year deal. So first of all, that news. Jon Taylor, new 3-year deal, amazing. He's one of the best attacking players in our squad. I think that overall he's just a wonderful person, a wonderful, great guy, and a wonderful football player. So, you know, we've kept the talent. We're starting to keep the talent. It's a positive start to the week. Let's keep it up now tomorrow in the game, and we'll give you my match preview after this video is up. Or by the time you're watching this, the preview will be edited. But yeah, Jon Taylor, massive positive start to the week. 3-year deal. Can't really argue with that. And yeah, very good stuff indeed. So let's move on to the rest of the contract negotiation stories. According to the Free Press, a trio of younger members of the squad are due to complete the formalities on new deals in the coming days. Now, we don't know who that is. I mean, you know, Charlie Seaman still needs to sign like a year extension at least on his current contracts. Obviously, he was loaned out to Maidstone, brought back, can't be used in the current squad because of the whole social COVID bubble thing. And, you know, obviously his contract, it was only a 1-year deal, so it runs out. So, obviously, hopefully we're going to sign Charlie Seaman on at least a year extension. Horton and Greaves are out of contract. I expect those two to sign. Danny Amos, I expect him to sign. Lewis Jones, I expect him to get, you know, renegotiated and keep him on a longer term deal. So there's a few players in there that could fit the bill. But it is younger players, so it could be like 24, 23 and younger. So we're looking at 23, 24-year-olds as well. And that's the likes of Jason Lakilo. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what happens, but we'll see. And also, Free Press understands the final stages of contract negotiations with other players are likely to take place with input from the next Rovers manager. That's a very interesting statement. Now, does that hint that Andy Butler will be the new permanent manager in the summer? I mean, obviously, there's still loads of people in the race. Paul Heckingbottom, Richie Wellens, Mickey Mellon. You know, there's loads of names out there at the minute. Chris Coleman, and we'll go through some stuff on the managerial situation in a little bit. But if Andy, I mean, you know, with input from the next Rovers manager, so either the new manager has been contacting the squad daily, or you know, they'll wait till the end of the season, bring in the new manager, and then he decides who they're going to sign. Or Andy Butler's the new manager on a permanent basis, and they're going to get sorted before the end of the season. So we don't know. We don't know what's going to happen, but it's very shifty stuff there with that statement. It kind of makes me think that Butler's going to be the manager, but we'll see what happens. I mean, if Butler is the permanent manager next season, then, you know, I've said it on match reviews for weeks and weeks now. You know, it's the players that are not performing for the manager, and the manager's only criticism is he's made the wrong substitutions a few times, and, you know, he's started the wrong people a couple of times. So, you know, that's the only thing really that Butler needs to work for. If he has a squad that wants to play for him, then that's brilliant. That makes everything tick. If you don't want to play for the manager, you're not going to have a good squad, are you? Even though the quality's good. If you don't play for the manager, the results won't come. So hopefully, if Butler is the manager next season on a permanent basis, he has the squad that he wants to work with. Now, obviously speaking on the managerial situation, we do have some stuff on the manager situation. And this is all from the Free Press again. So Chief Executive Gavin Baldwin presented a list of 16 applicants to the board back on Friday. with the numbers reduced to 8 following discussion. So we don't know who those 8 are, but we'll see. Those involved in the shortlisting were then given the weekend to contemplate the selections and are expected to reduce the list further to 6 for interviews later in the week. It's likely the interview process will see 2 or 3 candidates progress to a final stage from which the Rovers' next manager will be determined. The current 8 names on the list represent a broad spectrum of experience in management, from those with 1 or 2 jobs on the CV to some with coaching involvement at international level, which is very exciting. It's understood that current Rovers boss Andy Butler will receive an interview as part of the club policy. So technically it's, I don't know if it's 8 plus Butler or it's 7 including Butler to make it 8. So if Butler's involved in that, then it's either 8 plus Butler or it's 7. But from the sounds of it, it's 7 plus Butler. So it looks like we're going to have 7 managers plus Butler to whittle down to the last interview stages. The final 2 or 3. It feels like the Pop Idol final, doesn't it? Just don't do what Luton Town did back in 02-03, and that's do like a manager idol final or something like that, because clearly it just was a stupid idea. But it's very interesting. 2 or 3 candidates. Winner is the manager. And Rovers hope to be in a position to finalise the appointment next week, with the announcement of the identity of the new boss in the coming days immediately following the last game of the campaign, along with, of course, the reveal of the talent and ID manager. So I went through the bookies, I went through other managers that were named by fans, and tried to list some people that could be good in either categories. So for managers with 1 or 2 jobs, I've only got 2 down here. One of them is in the other category with international experience. I'm not going to name him, but I'll go through that. But the other manager I've got with 1 or 2 jobs to his name that I can think of is Nicky Butt. Now, of course, he was manager of the under-23s at Manchester United. So he's got experience at that level, which arguably, and not disrespectfully, that's what people in the big clubs would consider Doncaster Rovers level, Man United under-23s. And Nicky Butt's got an experience with that. So, obviously, he'd bring in young, fresh, exciting contacts. But again, is it just loans? Is it not the Rovers DNA? Is it not the proper Donny DNA? So that's my only concern with, Nicky Butt. In terms of international level, we've got a couple on here. Chris Coleman, of course, manager of formerly Wales, as well as the likes of Fulham. A.D. Boothroyd, who managed England under-19s, under-20s and under-21s. So those are 2 managers that have managed at international level that's on the bookies at the minute. Chris Coleman and A.D. Boothroyd. 2 managers that I personally do not want at this club. Boothroyd, Coleman, they do not fit the criteria of the club. They don't fit the attractive football and the success of the club, etc. But one man who's fitted both categories is the former Wellington Phoenix and New Zealand coach, Des Buckingham. Now, one fan actually commented that on Twitter. Someone actually posted, what about Des Buckingham? And, I looked through and I'm like, you know what? That could be, it's kind of like, I think it was when Watford appointed Cisco Munoz. People had to Google him and look for his name. He's not one of the most, out there appointments. You had to really search into him to find out what he's about. If we got Des Buckingham as the manager next season, again, it'd be one of those situations where you have to look into him, but maybe he could bring something very attractive to the club, and maybe bring something a little bit unseen to the League One game and to the EFL game. So I think Des Buckingham would be an interesting shout. But yeah, so I mean, in my opinion, if I was to predict right now, who the manager was going to be, I'd probably, if it was down to anyone, if I could pick 2 names out of nowhere, I would pick, in fact, no, I'm going to pick a top 3. Richie Wellens, because he's a former player, he's got experience at other clubs, and I think that he could do a good job and bring some talent with him. Andy Butler on a permanent deal, and the reason why I've gone with that is because I think he needs his squad before we fully judge him as a manager. And Des Buckingham. I think Des Buckingham, in my opinion, really does fit the bill. So there we go, guys. Thank you very, very much for watching this DRFC Daily Reports. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. And for now, guys, I'm Aaron Chandler from Forever Football, DRFC. Keep living the Rovers life. And that, my friends, is full time. Rovers side eye. See you for the Peterborough preview later this evening. Rovers!